Hi, I'm Laura Gwyn, and I'm presenting the May 2022 monthly real estate report. Even the most experienced investors have been saying to me, I think we're going to be going into a real estate bubble. So we're going to begin this report reviewing why we're not headed for a housing bubble. Most of the reports that you see begin in 1945 because that's the end of World War II when the housing boom began. And as you can see, real estate has appreciated consistently for over 75 years, except for the 2008 mortgage market crash. That crash was due to the mortgage industry having very loose lending guidelines and people using their homes as ATM machines, which has not happened since that time. Lending guidelines were changed so this wouldn't happen again. The current concern on everyone's mind since the pandemic has been the number of people in forbearance. This is where the government made arrangements with people so that they wouldn't lose their homes during the pandemic of 2019 to 2021. A lot of people applied in early 2019 because they didn't know how bad the pandemic and job losses would be or how long the government shutdowns would last. As time progressed, you can see not as many people needed the program, and the program was applied for as cautionary safety net by most households. The active number of loans in forbearance has drastically decreased. Here's a visual showing the number of loans that have exited the forbearance program. 37% were paid in full, 44.6% were in a workout or repayment plan of some sort, and 18.4% were still in trouble. 17.1% of those people had or have no loss mitigation plan in place. Those people hopefully know that due to appreciation, they have enough equity in their home that they can afford to sell, pay their realtors and the title company, pay off their loan, and still have some money in their pocket to move to their next location and get a fresh start. For various reasons, and we hate to see people go through this, 1.3% of people are having to do short sales or deed in lieu of foreclosures, which is a shame because appreciation has been at about 20% a year. So it's hard for me to fathom them not selling the home and just paying off the lender to save their credit, but they obviously have a reason that I'm not aware of. As you can see, foreclosures are extremely low. We've learned from history that prices can fall, and although we can't promise that it won't happen, we can study a lot of data and make informed decisions. Lending standards are nothing like the early 2000s. You can see the red section representing product risk, which are the loans. These risky loans increased rapidly from 2004 to 2007. Everyone was able to get a loan. It seemed at the time our clients just needed a pulse. Lenders were very lenient on income, credit scores, and were doing up to 106% loan-to-value loans, and people were using their homes as ATM machines to buy toys and live lavish lifestyles. That all changed in 2008 with government and policy making to where we can't even choose our appraisers anymore. The orange area even dropped, which reflects the guidelines tightening to obtain a loan. The orange is borrower risk. You can see that dropped in 2008, getting more strict. Policies were made and are followed still to this day. We've always had foreclosures, even before 2008, during the mortgage industry crash. As you can see visually here, foreclosures are at the lowest they've been in a long time. Part of the lending standards has been only loaning money to higher credit scored borrowers and underwriting more strictly. This graph shows the number of borrowers with a credit score of less than 620. It's very low. It's harder to get a loan when you don't have a score higher than 620. The lending standards are simply higher today than they used to be. You can get a loan, but you have to have a job and a decent credit score and show credit worthiness, which simply just wasn't the case during the housing crash of 2008. That's why this is nothing like 2008. This is the ratio of the people's mortgage payment divided by their total disposable income. We're at the lowest we have ever been since 1980. Another area to be aware of is that when people have been refinancing and taking advantage of the lower interest rate market that we just came out of, is that their monthly mortgage payment was virtually unchanged. This was due to the lower interest rate. So their monthly payment was staying where they were comfortable, where it had been previously, unlike in 2006, 7, and 8, where their mortgage payments were increasing dramatically. Then they couldn't afford them and ended up short selling them or getting foreclosed on. So the big question is, what lies ahead? According to the Home Price Expectation Survey, appreciation will slow down, but still remain positive, slowly adding 3 to 5% appreciation over the next 5 years. Totaled, the prediction is just over 25% in 5 years, all for simply owning real estate. The 26.8% total that I just showed you did have varying opinions. And if we put them into two categories, the pessimist and the optimist, you can see here that the pessimists are predicting a slower rate of growth and earning only 10% over 5 years, but that's still positive. The optimists, who are on the other end of the pendulum, are waging a much larger gain in real estate appreciation and came in much higher at 46.5%. But being conservative and taking the middle of the road approach, balancing both sides, the numbers are looking to be just over about 25% appreciation that you'll earn on owning real estate over the next 5 years. When looking at the predominant money forecasters of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, CoreLogic, Pulsomics Survey, NAR, Zelman, Mortgage Bankers Association, you can see here their opinions. Averaged, they come in around 9% for the home price appreciation forecasting for 2022. It's impossible for interest rates not to rise due to inflation. Inflation is the enemy of mortgage interest rates, and we are at an all-time high on inflation. We'll most likely see interest rates in the low 6s, and remember that 6s are and have been known as a good normal. I bought my first house at 10% in 1993, and I was jumping up and down excited. So be prepared for the 6s. We're in the 5s now. Quick story. When I was young and in school, the professor was telling us a story of his investment days back when there were a lot of seller carried financing and interest rates were at about 13%. We asked him if there were anything, if there was anything that he regretted, and he said, "The only thing I regret is not buying more homes." And that has always stuck with me. He's still to this day a practicing real estate attorney here in town, and I value his opinion. Everyone's talking about affordability these days. New data from the Harris poll shows 84% of Americans plan to cut back spending as a result of price spikes. More than 70% of respondents said that they're feeling the effects of inflation, the most in gas prices and groceries. I think we can all relate that this slide doesn't need any explaining. Even with all the money that we're trying to save, you're going to see that people will be forced to buy less home than they previously were afforded. Look here at January 2021. At 2.73% interest and on a $300,000 loan, their payment was about $1,221. As interest rates increase over the graph there to today at 5.27% interest rate, their payment on the same house jumped $450. And they won't go up in payment. They'll buy less house. By October of this year, it would be almost $500 difference. And if homes keep appreciating, they're going to have to drop their eyelash bill of $100, their mani-pedi of $75, their cable bill of $150, and on top of the other $250 that they've probably already cut by not eating out, drinking, or buying those drive-through coffee drinks. As I have these cut-back conversations with people, they're quick to tell me things were cheaper when I was young. So I explain housing affordability. As the bars on this graph go higher, looking at the orange bars, it's more affordable. Housing is more affordable. It's easy to see that when the distressed properties were on the market and super cheap after the 2008 mortgage crisis, housing affordability was at an all-time high, meaning very affordable, right? Not many people can argue with these orange bars because they remember how cheap houses were. People understand that. Then they started to drop in 2017. And as you can see where we are today on the far right. So look at the left-hand side of those orange bars now. Look at 1990 to 2007. Those bars drop lower than the dotted line. Those are the years that housing was less affordable than today. We have about 18 years of data here of housing that was less affordable than it is today, taking all things into consideration, housing prices, wages, and inflation. So, based on the data, housing is still affordable today. The average consumer is spending an additional $429 monthly for items other than shelter. Meanwhile, average weekly wages rose just $212 a month. So the consumer is short by about $217 a month. And if you take that $217 a month and reverse engineer it in your calculator, this means that the average consumer will be looking for a home that is $41,793 cheaper. So remember, when you are pricing your home for sale, just because supply is low and demand is high, you may not get away with pricing your home like it's 2026. Because buyers aren't going to go up in price. They're only going to buy at their monthly maximum, which means that as interest rates go up, those borrowers have to adjust their price down. I hope you now have a relevant market knowledge based on facts. So now when your friends, neighbors, boss, parents, grandparents from the Depression era all start offering you all that great free advice, or worse yet, tell you to wait because there's going to be a crash, I hope you can see that waiting will cost you more money and most likely price you out of the market. And hey, you can even send them this video if you want. On my blog at lauragwyn.com, you'll always find daily news articles on the market data, not my opinion, not my feeling on the market, but data. Actual market data that you should be making your home buying and selling decisions on. The spring guides are out now and available. You can download them. They're in the upper right-hand corner of our blog. And then the summer guides are due out June 3rd. The resources for the data used in today's slides are listed here. I'm Laura Gwyn, an Oregon licensed principal broker who owns my own brokerage with over 25 years real estate experience in and around the Salem area. I'm available to assist you with your real estate needs. If you'd like to speak to me further or hire me to sell your home, you can call, text, or book an appointment online. And if you don't see an appointment available that you need, please be sure to text me and I'll do everything I can to accommodate you. We'd love to keep you updated as the market continues to change. In an increasing interest rate market, it's important to make your decisions on data and facts, not feelings. Please allow me to be your resource for everything real estate related. If you like this video, please like it, comment. If you'd like to see more videos or any particular subject matter that you want me to cover. And if you want to be a part of our community, subscribe to our social media pages and our company YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.